Good blessed Throwback Thursday, January the 27th, 2022. It's about 7:50 a.m. in the morning. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't even matter whether you like me or like anything that I do or say. It doesn't matter if you light-skinned or dark-skinned, big, small. But I just greet all of you all with that same universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Today, I want to speak about the corruption, the sloppy investigation, the incompetency of the Carbondale Police Department and the Jackson County, Illinois Prosecuting Attorney's Office, and the lack of concern with these women programs in Carbondale, Illinois, Jackson County, with the exception of the founder and director of the Women for Change and those that's in her program. But all the other women programs, the Women's Center, the woman that runs the Carbondale, Illinois Women's Center, the NAACP president, as well as her chairperson for the criminal department, and any of these other black leaders or white leaders in Carbondale, Illinois, Jackson County. I want to show you how much all they do is, if it ain't corruption, cover up, sloppy investigation work, they chasing after government grant money. The worst thing the governor of Illinois could have did was put up that $7.8 million to spread around to these programs that's supposed to be helping other people. You see, I'm finna tell you about something. I live about almost 60-something miles away from Carbondale, Illinois, one way. Now, God sent me down there in the beginning to investigate my son's death, which I done showed y'all, Brian Lamont Johns, who was found hung on March the 19th, 2021 in Carbondale, Illinois, in a hallway, and they declared his death. If you read this here, Freedom of Information Act, they declared his death soon when they came on the scene without any type of investigation. They had at least 5 or 6 individuals investigating this. And if you look at all this here mess that they got in here, majority of it, 90% of it, is searching mental facilities, hospitals, prison records to see anything that was saying my son was suicide. Now, if they can do all that there for the dead, see, they know my son couldn't speak up for himself. But they didn't know my son had a voice more powerful than his. Me, Raymond Lewis Ivy, Carbondale, Illinois, Jackson County. Worstest nightmare for these women programs, with the exception, again, Women for Change, founder and director, and her followers. Because they the only one that I see that's out there that's not just trying to chase after money, but they out there having programs and they listening to the complaints of the peoples in the jails, on the streets, in their homes. But let me tell you about an incident in Carbondale, Illinois, with a white female who have black children. That's another thing with the Carbondale Police Department and some of the leaders in Carbondale, Illinois. They don't like a white woman that has black children. You see, a person got a right to choose whatever mate they want to have. God told them to be fruitful and multiply. But here it is, in the late part of 2019. Now, we done passed 2020, 2021, now we in 2022. But in the late part of 2019, listen to this real careful, because you ain't gonna hear about it just like you didn't hear about my son's death. You see, the papers don't put nothing in there when the Carbondale Police Department and these sellout women groups in Carbondale, Illinois, if they ain't supporting it. But how is it me, a person that I don't get government grant money? How is it that I find a white female that was raped, called the 911, they can't take away the 911 tape, told them she was raped, the police and the ambulance come and take her to that same hospital that the police went to get documents to say that my son said he was suicidal, but they took her there and took a rape test, and she relied on them like I did in the beginning of the police, relied on them to do the investigation. Now, person got raped, you're going to have detectives on the case, you're going to have CSI, crime scene investigators. Now, how is it that this woman waiting and don't hear nothing from the police department? Nothing at all. But she thinking that all is good. Until, can you imagine, I have 3 daughters and 2 granddaughters, 5 sisters, a multiplicity of nieces, aunties, female friends. Can you imagine me and them walking down the street and they've been raped by an individual in 2019 and they waiting on the police to do their job? When you don't have knowledge of the law, you wouldn't look at a couple of years passing by and they ain't doing nothing when you done told them who raped you, and you walk in front of this individual, and this individual with his wife smiling at you, knowing what he did. You see, a lot of people out there will get something and take the law in their own hand, but this female didn't. This female, just this past week, called the police department and asked why ain't nothing been done to this individual, the savage. When you rape somebody, you like a savage. You remind me of Christopher Columbus when him and them savages came from over across the sea, from Spain or wherever else they came from Europe in 1492. And seeing how friendly the Indians was, and the native that was here, they raped, killed, and took them back, some of them back as captives to Spain. And the king and the queen of Spain honored these savages. And some of y'all still celebrate Christopher Columbus Day. My 2 youngest daughters don't. And when they get grown and move out, they better not come to my house. We coming to celebrate Christopher Columbus, because they won't get in. I'm going to call 911 on them. Get them out of my house. But let me show you this here. See, I got facts. I got facts that this happened. I want all you news reporters in Southern Illinois, the university, all of you other women groups, the Women's Center, the empowerment for the Center for Empowerment and Justice. Y'all newly president or acting president of the Center for empowerment and justice in Carbondale, who have his own podcast and have his own little group, What the F Carbondale, that they don't put my son's stuff in there. Let me see if you're going to put about this white woman with black children that was raped. But now, it was 2019. They didn't do nothing in 2020. Nothing in 2021. This is January of 2022. She had to call down there because of the hurt of seeing this individual smiling on her face, knowing what he did, violated her in the worst degree. But the only excuse that the victim, so-called victim advocate, a black woman, they always put blacks. You see what I'm saying? White supremacists always put blacks in the forefront to make everything seem like it's all right. The only excuse this black woman can give her is, well, he resigned. He didn't file anything, but we gonna redo it. Now, this is Throwback Thursday, the 27th. So this had to be about Monday. What we would say that about the 23rd, somewhere around there. Now, how is it that you have to redo this rape when if this guy resigned or not, you got more than him have to be on the case. You got 7 or 8 individuals investigating my son's death. Never been in the newspaper. All of them got a pack of lies. But how is you going to explain this is 2022 and this woman had to go down there and redo her charges when this police resigned, got quit or got fired? Somebody else should have immediately took over his case. You got a dozen of them on my son's case. See, my son couldn't speak up, but I'm speaking up. And I'm going to set out and uncover every unjust acts in Carbondale, Illinois. I want to know what that Spanish prosecuting attorney going to say about that. They'll find something to say, but ain't no way that you can humanly explain that to me. This woman was raped in the late part of 2019. The man haven't been arrested. You see what I'm saying? They show you what they do with certain cases. You see, now, if you one of their informants and you're black, they ain't gonna do nothing to you. If you a white that done did something to a black, or you a person that did something to a white woman that has black children, they'll do the same thing that they did with my son's case with the white school teacher from the Carbondale Rebound High School in Carbondale, Illinois, Jackson County, spending my son's food stamp 39 days after his death. They hadn't arrested her. They hadn't charged her. They ain't did nothing to her, but went to her job and asked her, do she think her husband killed my son over methamphetamine? But back to this female that was raped. Those that y'all said that I'm racist, I'm speaking up for a white female. Not just because she got black children, because she's a human being, and that could have been my daughter. That could have been my niece. And anybody that's victims, they are friends of mine. You see, some people are afraid to speak up against Carbondale, but I'm one black man that's not afraid, and I want City Hall, the mayor, and all the city councilmen explain that. I want the city attorney to explain that. I want the victim advocate for Carbondale Police Department and the victim advocate for the Jackson County prosecuting attorney's office and the prosecutor and all the 8 lawyers that he told me he had. I want y'all to explain to me explain to the public, how in the heck did this rape be overlooked. This woman is hurt. What if it was your mother? What if it was your sister? What if it was your daughter? What if it was your grandmother? Y'all would have had it in the newspaper. Y'all would have had the picture of the individual that raped her in the newspaper. Y'all would have been talking about it. It's been over 2 years. Anybody that want the information from me, I'm not going to give you all of it, but I want y'all to ask your city councilmen. I want you to ask your mayor. I want you to ask the prosecuting attorney and his 8 attorneys and his paralegal and his victim advocate. This woman was a victim. I want you to ask all them women programs, with the exception of Women for Change and her followers. I want you to ask the woman from the Woman Center that's getting that humanitarian award, achievement award. I want you to ask all these ones you see marching around SIU, and I'm not talking about all the students. If the shoe fits your feet, wham. It's a bunch of perpetrators and frauds out there claiming that they care for women. This woman was been raped over 2 years ago. Where in the hell was y'all at? How did I find out about it? You know why? Because I go to Carbondale seeking victims, seeking people that don't have voices that's not being heard, that has voices that's not being heard. And also, when I go there, people come to me. Why they come to me? And ask me what I speak about stuff. Why was I called to come to Murfreesboro, Illinois, Jackson County Jail to protest against what's happening to the inmates inside of there? What was the other women groups representatives? Women for Change was there, but you didn't see these other ones that's marching through there. You didn't see the Center for Empowerment and Justice there. I'm going to leave for right now, but let's try to support this woman. Let's try to make some noise, y'all. If you know newspapers, ask them to look into it and ask Carbondale Police Department, why is this with this rape shield all this time? If you got anybody watching this here, if you got something that you know that they not putting out, you can give it to me. You don't owe me nothing but your undivided attention. Peace be still.